Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Stefanie Lemcke, the founder and CEO of GoKid. Thank you for joining us, Stefanie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Tell us what GoKid is. What's it all about?
Sure. I started the company really out of my own, solving my own problem. I'm a mother of two kids, and we left New York City and moved to the suburbs. And suddenly I found myself constantly in need of drive for my kids to school and their after-school activities. The problem was I still had a job in the city, so I couldn't be in two places all the time. That's when I started to reach out to other parents and asked if we could create carpools and just help each other. And I found it really hard to organize these rides. There were a lot of text messages going back and forth, and in the middle of, meeting, someone would call me and say, "Could you pick up?" And I said, because I worked in technology and innovation for many years, I said, there must be a different way to do this. In the age of Uber and Lyft, I knew the technologies were there, but I wondered why had no one done this for parents and put the technology together that would help us set up and manage carpools. So after a lot of thinking, I decided someone needs to fix this and started GoKid. And what GoKid does is you download the app from the App Store, and it helps us manage and schedule rides for our children. So it's not an Uber for kids. It's still the parents driving, but we set up a ride by simply inviting other parents. We tell the app where our child is coming from and going to and what times we need the ride, and we send out an invitation. When the other parent accepts the invitation, that's where our magic kicks in. We schedule everything. We tell the parents when it's time to go, when they're driving. If a driver is missing for the day, we send out an alert to all the parents, and we do the mapping and routing for the trip, so the parent who's driving knows who to pick up when and where.
It sounds wild. It sounds like an Uber or Lyft kind of app in a sense, but this is obviously a different scenario.
Yes, so the technology works like Uber and Lyft, but parents plan ahead. So they know that their kids have to be at school at 7:30 every morning. So they will set up all these rides and invite other parents to share the rides. So it's not driver-based. We don't hire a driver. There's no additional vehicles on the road, but it's really the parents taking turns. And we're solving a huge problem. Over half of all schools in the U.S. no longer have buses. And over 30 million kids are being driven to school by their parents every single day. And so our mission is to drastically reduce the amount that parents need to drive by just setting up, carpools with 2 or 3 parents, so they only have to drive once or twice a week instead of every single day.
And that's not even mentioning all of the after-school activities and weekend activities, whether it's sports or dance or music or whatever it happens to be.
That's a great point. And we thought about this a lot too, because in fact we see our app is used a lot for these after-school activities. So we have done another thing. We made it easy for parents to find others who are in the same team, let's say a soccer team for your daughter. A lot of times, the times you have to be there, but you don't know who else is on the team. So we have integrated with leading sports management tools like TeamSnap and Sports Engine. So parents can integrate the account that they use for their child, and then they know who else is on the team. So they can reach out to the parents on the team, and all the information flows into GoKid. So you know the times you need to be there, and you just add another parent, and then you can share the rights. So that's, addressing the problem that over 32 million kids are in organized sports in the U.S., and there's so much driving associated with that.
Well, as a parent with a background in technology, you had this idea. So how do you go about making it real?
Yeah, that's a great question. So while I worked in technology and innovation for many years, I never built an app before. So obviously I needed help. I hired a designer and a first developer. When I had the idea, I funded it. And we basically did a lot of interviews with parents, and we had them sit at a table and talk through the scenarios, how they would set up carpools. And we built an MVP, so a most viable product. It was really just a dummy, and parents played around with that, and we got a lot of feedback. So this is, we incorporated that feedback, and our designer really then went in and designed how the app would work. And we hired another developer and then went into the development phase, which took almost a year because it's quite complicated what we built. And then we had more and more testing. And over the years, so we've been at it over shortly 3 years, we had hundreds of parents send us feedback. And so we are incorporating all that feedback into building the app. And fast forward, we have now 500,000 rides on the app, and we're growing rapidly, which is really, crazy when you think you started a kitchen table and you thought it was just your problem, and it turns out that hundreds of thousands of others have the same problem. It's pretty fascinating.
You're working with schools and such too. So there are two different versions. There's a free version of the app, and there's a pro version, which is by subscription. Tell us about that and what the differences are.
Yeah. So the base version of GoKid, when you go to the App Store and Google GoKid Carpool, is free. So you can set up and manage your carpools for free. We added a couple of premium features. For example, that you can integrate your entire schedule to your Google Calendar, that you can chat within the app, and we are launching now live tracking of the vehicle, so you know exactly when the car is coming, and you get an alert and you get a notification when your child has been dropped off at school. That's a premium feature, and we're charging $4.99 a month or $49 annually. We also have a school version for GoKid, because a lot of times parents are in a school and they simply don't know who to invite, who to even carpool with, and who would live close by. So this is actually a version we only launched a year ago, and it's called GoKid Connect. So GoKid Connect is licensed by the schools, and the schools would upload the parent data to our admin board portal, and then invite other parents to join that carpool system. Once the parents accept the invitation, they can find other parents based on vicinity or the grades of their kids. So it really helps make these connections. And once they've find a family that they think is a good match, they reach out to them and set up the carpool. And then it connects to our front-end apps, the Google, from the Google Play and Apple Store.
And you've taken this international.
Yes, so that surprised us probably most. We didn't really know what we were doing, and we released it on the app stores globally, and suddenly we have users in 25 other countries. Basically, anyone who speaks English, can follow a couple of guidance on the app, can use it, and it surprised us most. Obviously, the US is still our biggest market, but we have a lot of users in Canada. The next market is the UK, and Australia and New Zealand are strong, but we have users in Norway and Sweden, which is it's really quite surprising. But so it tells us that it's a global problem. A third of the morning traffic is caused by parents globally driving their children to school. So it's something. What we are really proud of is that we measure impact. We measure how many miles have been saved driving, how many hours have been saved for their parents, and most importantly, how much CO2 has been saved. And we can share that data with the schools, but also we're starting to work with entire regions. And it really, that really makes us very proud and it's very motivational for the entire team.
You're saving a lot of parents and kids headaches, and at the same time, you're helping the environment.
Yeah. So it's and it's important. I mean, there's so much about, the effects of climate change are being felt all across the U.S. and globally. And the traffic in some cities, we are now in Houston and working with the city there. It's just insane, and it's amazing if you can help and, help both the parents and the planet.
Very interesting. Tell us a little bit about your background, because that is interesting as well. You've got a PhD in law.
Yeah. So I started off as a lawyer. I'm actually a media lawyer, and I worked for the Disney Channel. We launched the Disney Channels over in Europe. I was part of the management team, and so the children's market was always something that really fascinated me. And later on, I also ran a VOD department for a large media company. So I was in the media, but also did in technology and innovation. And then I moved with my family 14 years ago to the US and started working with startups out of the New York region, and also with large corporates looking at startups. And when that started, I was like, wow, there's so much happening in technology, and I got more and more fascinated by that. And then, as I said, I ran into my own problem that I needed, something better for setting up and managing carpools. And I got so inspired by all the innovation happening that I said, this problem needs to be fixed, and I just want to, take a shot at it.
Terrific. And once again, it's called GoKid. You can find it both Google and Apple. Where do you plan to go from here with this? Any thoughts about where you take this, other than getting more users?
Yes, getting more users is absolutely on our roadmap. We really haven't spent anything on marketing. It's been, word of mouth so far. And now we're starting to work with entire regions. We just got a grant from the state of Michigan, and we are deploying our technology to many schools there. We're working with the city of Houston. We're talking to Chicago and Indianapolis. So this is really something we're really excited about, that, cities are discovering traffic management can be done with a solution that's already existing, and we're very excited about that.
Again, it's called GoKid. Stefanie Lemcke, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you so much for having
me. Cooking with the power of the sun. Hi, I'm Fred Fishkin, here to tell you about the latest innovation from my friend Patrick Sherwin and his great team at GoSun Stove. The GoSun Fusion has arrived using the company's tried and true reflectors and a solar vacuum tube to get you cooking without the mess of charcoal, heavy propane tanks, or smoke. A really bright idea. And with an optional solar panel and battery storage and the ability to plug in at home or on the road, you really can use the GoSun Fusion to cook anytime and anywhere, day or night, rain or shine. I love what Patrick and his team are doing, and so will you. Want to learn more? Head to gosun.co to check out all of the company's products and innovations, and use the code Techstination to save 10%. That's gosun.co.